Hi, my name is Scott Frank, and I'm an audiologist in Salem, Oregon. And I have a very special guest today, Lynise Frank, my wife. And so I brought her in to talk about her situation, which is actually kind of both ironic and special. And so she actually does have hearing loss, and so she's here today to talk about how this all happened and how it's affected her and where she's at now. So with that,
I was about September, and I was pretty active playing tennis a lot. I very much enjoyed competitive sports, and was actually in the district finals, and my partner and I had gone up to Portland, and for some reason that day, every time I'd go for a volley, I'd fall over backwards. I'd go to hit the ball and it would be, several inches the other side of my racket. I just had no depth perception and just couldn't get my bearings or my balance. And at one point I just said, okay, I guess I wasn't very good at this game after all. And hung up my racket and I said, I'm done. Apparently I can't do this anymore. Couple of weeks later, we went to Florida for my son's birthday, and we were going on all of the fun rides, and I'll never forget, we got on the first roller coaster, and I got off of it and was violently ill. And I have never gotten sick on a roller coaster before, but after that one coaster ride, I pretty much was done for the day. And again, just kind of chalked it up to, I guess I'm just aging, and I've aged out of roller coasters being fun. And instead of starting to put these things together, that there might be something else going on. Over October, I started having very bad migraines, almost daily. Really bad headaches. And by the beginning of November, it gotten to the point that I started having facial palsy and was wondering with one headache if it was actually a stroke. Ended up heading to the emergency room, and the doctors there did a CAT scan and of course started the whole stroke protocol. And Scott came in and we waited for the results. The doctor came in and said, well, good news, it's not a stroke. However, you do need to find a neurosurgeon. Because you have an anomaly between the 7th and 8th cranial nerves, I believe is the way he put it. And I looked at him and said, do you mean I have an acoustic neuroma? And the doctor was, of course, surprised that I knew what that was. But I said, I can't have an acoustic neuroma. I'm married to an audiologist. And apparently that wasn't an excuse. I wasn't allowed to be removed from having that based on marital status, I guess. So I had developed a tumor on the auditory nerve that sat along the auditory and vestibular nerves. So fast forward through 4.5 months of horrific vestibular issues with vertigo that pretty much was debilitating to the point I was done. I was in bed. If you've ever had vertigo, you know how you're pretty much not able to think of anything else while it's going on. And where the tumor was activated that all the time. So imagine going on one of those spinny rides, the really make you sick rides at the fair, and that feeling when you get off of it and the whole world's spinning. And that's just kind of the state I lived in. Until surgery March, well, the original discovery would have been November 2nd. And fast forward, surgery was March 8th up at OHSU.
Dr. Frank
Warren and his team. I said, I can call you Frank. You've touched parts of me my husband will never see, since, brain surgery. So I said, I felt that put us on a first name basis. Great team that took out the tumor. Unfortunately, along with that, they also took my ability to hear on my left side. So that, fast forward, will be 10 years this coming March of single-sided deafness.
And so following surgery, actually a few months following surgery, probably about May, I actually fit you with your first cross system. And for those of you who don't know what a cross system is in her circumstance, well, for most people, if people have hearing loss, hearing aids can generally help them pretty well. But when someone has absolutely no hearing in one ear, or no nerve there to get the signal up to the brain, then direct amplification to that side doesn't help. So what a cross system does is it takes the person wears a device on each side. The device in her case, on the left side, picks up the sounds on that ear and routes it over to the better ear, so allowing her to effectively use her right ear for both sides. And as a result of that, so when we're riding in the car together and we're sitting like this and her bad ear is facing me, she can actually hear me better. Otherwise, she has to turn her head to hear me. When we're together in restaurants and things like that, it can make a difference. Or walking together, so I don't always have to walk on her right side. If she's wearing her cross system, I can walk on her left side. So,
Microphone, receiver.
Yep. So over the past 10 years, she has been very helpful to me in regards to evaluating cross technology as well. So each manufacturer comes out with new cross systems every so often, and she's my test subject for evaluating those. Yep.
Guinea pig.
So, anyway, and right now, there's over probably about the past 4 or 5 years, there's been about 5 manufacturers who have good systems. Actually, 4 manufacturers had good systems, and then a 5th manufacturer just came out with it. So we're actually having her try out each system, and we're gonna do short videos that are more or less reviews on how well they work for her.